one shot, one chance, one move, one dance, one shot. Brace yourself for the best. One shot.
Alright, we got one match in the books here in the PlayVS Overwatch playoffs. St. Clair coming off of a fantastic 3-0 victory up against the University of Akron. However, we've got ourselves Game 2 right around the corner, starting right now versus the University of North Texas here for round number 2. North Texas are going to be in the blue side of things, St. Clair in the yellow, as we hop in to Lijiang Tower to get things started off nice and quick. And as of right now, St. Clair quickly getting themselves into the pagoda, start gathering up many points into this capture point, and or as soon as it unlocks, rather, still have a couple of seconds on the clock before that ends up happening. As of this moment, Saints able to hang on tight. Apostle frontlining it alongside Prince Wada, going to find one of the members on the side of UNT and try and push them out of there. Of course, looks like Hawkins going to find first blood, though. Commanda gets caught out as Hawkins was on the flank. And alongside this Coalescence, that big old beams is going to absolutely shred through this St. Clair lineup and send them back packing here. Amp, the last one alive, going to end up just jumping off. There's no way he's winning that fight. So it's going to be the side of UNT to get this first initial capture here on this first Lijiang map. And to introduce our University of North Texas squad. On support, we got Gatsby and Joe. On DPS, we have Hawkins and Aspect. Then on the tank line, Aqua and Alias is your members on the side of UNT. And EMP coming in clutch here from Aspect, completely shutting down any sort of ability use that the Saints are getting ready to use. Anything like shields, everything gets completely taken away for just a couple seconds. But a couple seconds is all it needs for side of UNT to dive on in. In this matchup, St. Clair is the underdog. The University of North Texas higher seed here in this matchup, and this Lijiang Tower pick is the map pick of UNT. Diva Bomb going to come on out, as we do see, like, the side of UNT is not afraid to just dive on through away from the checkpoint. They'll fight you away from it. They're not worried about somebody like sneaking around the back and trying to capture. They're just willing to fight you right away. However, Saints finally find their opportunity to squeak themselves in here, and it's going to be the Blizzard coming out here for the side of St. Clair, as it is going to be available. First one to find himself an elimination, but Gatsby going to poop away the fellow Lucio. Of Imp taking him down. Essence from Joe coming in once again. Either shredding opponents or healing teammates. Just a very, very good ultimate. And the fact that you can charge it up nice and quick is huge. Alias does get knocked out of the mech, though. We do see the rest of the Saints charging on through to try and finish this one off. Kale is down. Amp is making his way back. Apostle hanging on by a thread. He's going to just launch his mech out there to try and blow itself up. It's not going to find anything. Gatsby with a double kill based off of a melee hit. That I have not quite seen in a long time, if ever. So crazy play here from Gatsby. And he's going to find himself another one onto Amp. Just has Amp's number right now. Everywhere he goes. Going to just eliminate or push Commanda aside as well. Hawkins going to get involved on that one too. Saints are forced to trickle. We do have the emergency wrecking ball coming out here alongside Prince Wada as well. There's going to be too little, too late, more than likely. Available last line of defense here. Imp does make his way back onto the point. Saints have to get there. And granted, there is some reinforcements around the corner. Could possibly make this happen. Where is that Deadeye? It's going to take care of Kale. Hawkins in the background, going to make it work. And eventually, slowly but surely, University of North Texas are going to clutch this one up and take care of this first round here on the University of North Texas, here on Lijiang Tower. Was definitely a tough one there for St. Clair. Could not find their opportunity to squeak in and make something happen, but Still, of course, have a couple other rounds, couple other styles of Lijiang to kind of go through here. We see a different team composition coming on through. And actually, whoa, okay, camera, we're tripping out a little bit here. But it's hey, going for a ride apparently. Sorry for anybody seasick at home. But nonetheless, the attack is now underway here for St. Clair and University of North Texas to try and get themselves to this centerpiece. Apostle leading the charge, and because of that teleport, it looks like Saints are going to be successful at touching first. However, they decided to take the high ground, and Prince Wada finally going to dive on in, try and shut them down. Just frontlining it a little bit. Relatively low on HP, but it's a-okay if everyone else is just getting themselves the eliminations. The Junkrats just absolutely littering this field with grenades, making it extremely difficult to try and traverse. We see a nice little shot there from Available onto Gatsby, taking care of one of the support players, and does find Aqua as well. So one support player gone, one tank player gone, is going to allow for St. Clair to capture this point, start getting themselves some percent on the board. And then the worst part about it is, as you can see right here, exactly what Available is doing. These narrow corridors here on this section of Lijiang Tower really makes it difficult to try and deal with all of this mine spam. Whereas Junkrat just can constantly, basically endlessly, just pump damage into small, tight corridors like this. And they're going to opt to go to the high ground, and actually fair enough. We do see Available, though. He's getting sneaky, but he is spotted out. Joe there on the Baptiste is going to call that out nice and quick for his team. And now, back on the point itself, a couple of players are falling here. Commanda is down, Apostle is down as well. Imp frontlining here alongside his sound barrier. Joe going to get pushed aside but not taken off the board. They're trying to deal with this front line here. And Aqua on the point, really just being an absolute nuisance. It is going to get flipped on over into UNT's favor. Imp will fall, and this is going to allow the side of UNT to start putting some points on the board. Riptire coming out of Aspect is going to get shut down at least, so there is going to be no elimination in that regard. Saints have themselves 3 ults on the board compared to the 4 on the side of University of North Texas. Can still win this team fight, however, they definitely have to find their positioning properly. Just bobbing and weaving, trying to find the best avenue of attack. And that's going to be a shatter, but it is going to be blocked. It's going to allow Apostle to get in a perfect position to lift him up, drag him down. Is that going to find any kills? Not this time. It was sound barriered there by Gatsby, denying any of that damage from the ultimate. Diva Bomb coming out. This is from the side of Alias. He is going to take care of Commanda. Takes her down. This leaves nobody except Available and Imp. Imp is eventually going to fall. Available is going to fall on back, so going to be forced to retreat and just keep on peppering grenades as he does, of course. Only a shatter available. Alias, I believe that is not a Diva Bomb available. I believe that is regular, like, mech form. Yeah, okay, so it's not an ultimate available on the side of UNT. If there's an opportunity, he's just going to strike. That would have been it. Alias is going to go down. The shatter there from Prince Wada is just going to get completely gobbled up by the shield of Aqua. Aqua is thinking about making his move, does find the shatter, and it instantly just takes down Available nice and quick. And we're going to see a little bit more come on through here. His Aspect's going to find himself the double kill. Imp is the last one alive, going to get completely blown up by Aspect. Triple kill for Aspect, and that is going to be game 1. Convincingly going over to the University of North Texas. This last little Riptire here from Aspect, going to find himself to play the game alongside of Frag after that. Where does he go? Finds himself a little bit of a flanking position, blows up Kale pretty much right away, and then this is the opportunity. With a couple players down, just has to finish off 1 or 2 more, and takes care of the support of Commanda and the tank line of Apostle. So that does shut things down nice and quick here for game number 1. UNT definitely showing why they're the higher seed here in this battle. A tough one for the Saints to try and claw back from, of course, but still. We have 2 CP coming up next. Probably going to see Volskaya get picked out here if it is the Saints' choice. We'll see momentarily. For this UNT squad, definitely a much tougher task, and I look forward to seeing what the Saints try to do to go through this one. I would hate to see the playoff run end up going down in round 2, but with the way the first game went, it is definitely nerve-wracking to say the least here. Just awaiting on the map pick here. But once again, though, thank you for everybody for tuning in to the broadcast, supporting the squad regardless of how this ends up going. And one thing, like, low-key, shout out, the fact that I'm finally starting to see, like, not to call out people specifically, but we have Apostle's mom and Apostle's dad making it nice and obvious that it's them in the chat, but that's awesome. Thank you for supporting Apostle and supporting the Saints that way in their esports endeavors. Absolute. Was it that Rudy said? Parent goals, absolutely. I hope one day, whenever Jace grows up, that I will be just as supportive. Trying to see if anyone else has anything odd, or not odd, but interesting in the chat as we do wait for the next map pick. They're just going through deliberations right here, right now. Gonna take their time a little bit on that. One big mistake I do see a lot of teams make in esports is that even off of a loss, for example, they just want to keep going. They keep playing. They want to play the next match back to back to back to back. But to be honest, hey, that one didn't go so well. Let's take some time. Let's talk about this. Let's make sure we have exactly what our game plan is in mind. Cut off their momentum. Because if anything, I see this a lot in Rocket League, especially where the team will go down, have a heartbreaking loss, hop into it, and then you can tell they're still shook from the last game. So I'm glad to see that the Saints are kind of slowing this down. Sure enough, it is going to be Volsky Industries. So if you were here for the first match earlier today versus the University of Akron, this one went pretty handedly in the favor of St. Clair to the point where they shut down any sort of capture on the second point, which made it nice and easy as soon as Saints hopped on the attacking side of things. But as you can probably hear in the background, we are getting ready to hop into this next one. Game 2 right around the corner. Let's see it. Of course, first point of attack will be right here on the platform. When that one does eventually get captured, we got to go all the way down into the warehouse, or the factory of sorts here, where we do see the University of North Texas actually coming from right here. And this little platform right here will finish the job here. Hello there, Aqua, and the rest of the squad. Gonna have to finish the job right here in order to get the full 2 points on the map. We're about to get underway. Unlike last time, Saints chose to defend to start things off. But this time, if we hop into the Saints room, actually, we are going to see Saints on the attack, starting things off. And they're going with the same team composition that we did see last time. I wonder if they're going to do pretty well identical to what they did last time by, which in turn would mean that we're going to see Bailable here on this Echo try to make a flanking play, and then as soon as he makes his position known, that is going to be the go button for the rest of the Saints to kind of just barge through this door. And it looks like that's exactly what he is going to end up doing here. It's going to mean that Prince Wada and the rest of them, they're kind of stuck at the archways for at least a second. It's kind of poking and prodded, going to let some of the supports get some of their ult charge up. Just trying to get through here can be rather difficult, to say the least. We do see a bit of a long-range composition coming out here from the side of UNT with Hawkins on this Ashe. And then for the other DPS, it's going to be Aspects, who's also going to be looking to take to the skies as well. But then look at this here. Bailable just got absolutely smoked by Joe. This push has been completely shut down. The cheese attempt here from Saints gets completely negated. Gets called out nice and quick. Aspect with a solid scouting job, allowing Joe to find the sleep dart on Bailable in the air and knocking him off the point. That, you couldn't have asked for a better play there from the side of the University of North Texas. Bailable going to stick to the Echo, but this time he's going to just try and bust in here, breach in with the rest of the team. Here comes the Nano Boost on to Prince Wada. He's going to be charging on through, trying to breach into the point. They have a little bit of control on the platform. Alias is going to be the first casualty. Apostle takes him down. Pretty well charged on the point, hard to deal with here. Bailable in a bit of a dogfight here with Aspect. Aspect's going to take care of him there. But it doesn't matter if the skies are gone. You have to make sure you have this platform. And right now, St. Clair, they do break this first third. So they have reached the small checkpoint mark. Commanda is going to get jumped on in the background. Nothing can do against Aqua there. And Aqua going to dive on in. Completely nano boosted, ready to rock, and just will take care of the rest of the Saints. However, not all lost there. With 2 minutes left to go, the Saints do have this first third captured. So a little bit of value there for whatever this next push is. And Bailable is just constantly in a little bit of a dogfight here with the other echo of Aspect. The rest of the Saints now here. What do we got for ultimates? One thing we're going to be keeping an eye on, of course, is going to be the Pulse Bomb here from KO. He wants to find that on something other than a tank player. And it's going to be a little bit difficult considering some of the high ground he's probably going to have to deal with. He does find Alias kind of finding himself in an awkward position. Dives on through, looking to finish him off, but he does get turned on. He's going to have to go away. Apostle has the Graviton available. Is going to get the grab off. Does gobble up 2 of them. They're just going to use their main shots and take care of it. And Saints are going to get 3 nice and quick here. It's going to be all up to Aqua, Joe, and Aspect to finish this off. Joe does get knocked down. Imp with a nice push right off the side. And as the rest of the Saints converge on the point, this will be the first checkpoint taken care of. A little bit of extra time on the clock, and now Saints have 4 minutes to take care of this next point. Also taking some heat, but the healers are right there. And how do they want to try and breach into this one? They don't necessarily have resources as of this moment. Well, they have a couple, actually. They do have Nano Boost available, which means if that is the case, we are probably going to see Prince Wada go flying in just a second. However, he's already like half health gone. Rally going to be popped here from Imp. That is going to be the go button, and he is going to be nano boosted, I do believe. Charging on through, it's going to be Joe going down nice and fast. So far, so good here for St. Clair as 2 members go down. Commander going to be the first casualty on the side of the Saints for this fight. It's going to be the Graviton coming out here from Alias just to keep Bailable in place. That is the Echoed Winston, this time by the, or the cloned one. And with a lot of the team from UNT jumping off the point, it's just going to leave the 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 here now, with Saints on the point. Kale trying to bob and weave. Apostle hanging on tight, but does not have any more shields available. Prince Wada does come back, but it's a little too late. It's going to be full held here by the side of UNT. Not going to give up any ticks this time. Close, but no cigar for the Saints. Going to have to go back to the drawing board where they only have the Pulse Bomb and then possibly the Grav, depending on how much damage Apostle can do prior to this fight starting. Gatsby making the switch on over to the Brig as well. Fair enough with a lot of these quicker, or when trying to deal with Kale especially, trying to zip, zap, zop all over the place. Just being able to get the shot, get the stun onto a Tracer, just stopping her for 1 second. She doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of health, so you can stop her in her tracks. That's absolutely perfect case scenario. See Kale ready in the wings, ready to go. Apostle right around the corner. There's no ultimates on the side of University of North Texas. In theory, this could be time for the Saints to go. It's going to be Prince Wada diving on in. It's a bit of an awkward spot. Kale is going to find the bomb, though, onto Alias. And now the battle for the point continues. Bailable is going to go down. Joe, again, just has his number. Aspect's going to take care of Command. A bit of a back and forth here. We still do have Imp, I believe, who has to rally once again on the point, just swinging away, finds the kill onto Aspect, and the stun to follow up. This could be enough for the Saints to capture. They're right around the corner. Imp hanging on by a thread, but just doing enough damage to keep himself healed. Just a matter of dealing with a couple more, but eventually the reinforcements arrive. This is basically a trickle. Can they find that second one? Just barely. That is going to be the Echoed Winston coming out here from Aspect. Is going to get taken down and forced off the point. There's still 2 more players. Emergency Wrecking Ball coming into the fray as well. Let's hop and try and get ourselves a bird's eye view of this action here as Kale is going to find himself a double. However, Aqua and Gatsby going to barely shut this down on the last possible second, it looks like. Still have a couple members available. Aqua going to pop that Primal Rage and just go absolutely nuts. With only a minute on the clock, the Saints have to determine whether they want to keep this fight going or just back up and try to push for one more. Right now, they do find themselves a double. Kale in the background, who has been doing enough of a solid flanking job, but is going to finally get himself out of dodge here. Stop this fight from happening. They are right on the dot, but they're going to just settle for 2/3 captured and try to get it one more time with a couple more resources available. And to be fair, like, of course, they don't know what the opponent's ult charges at this point, but they are absolutely in the better in regards to their ultimates. Going to have basically 4, maybe 5 ultimates on deck. Meanwhile, the side of the University of North Texas, they have just a Deadeye from Hawkins. And unless the Saints completely misplay this and allow this Deadeye to just get a couple multi-kills, then it should, in theory, be in St. Clair's favor, and it's going to be the Deadeye right into the Echo, so it's going to end up being bailable going down in this situation. It's going to be the grab coming on through. It's going to get messy to finish off this one. Overtime has been ticked. Saints have to stay on this point in order to keep this game going. Prince Wada, however, Primal Rage active, just diving on in right into the middle of the team and just firing away. Imp, with all that extra armor now on that rally, going to really make things difficult for the side of UNT to try and deal with this St. Clair squad. Commanda hanging in the corner, just barely keeping away from Aqua. Able to keep everybody topped off. Aqua does eventually go down, but the trickling is starting to really make things a little bit interesting here. Aspect has end up using the Echo, just picking up Zarya. Try maybe find himself his own Graviton. Not going to happen. Just have to deal with Gatsby. Can they capture it? Saints do end up barely finding themselves the 2 points here on Volskaya. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. St. Clair going to find themselves the 2 points here on Volskaya with no time left in the bank. So, going to be all up to the University of North Texas to try and find themselves 2 points, and maybe find themselves with a little bit of time bank as well, so that when it does go to extra rounds, that they have another shot at it. Otherwise, this could end up in a draw, but it's of course the beauty and the demise of 2 CP maps, or 2 capture point maps. Hello, Alias. Now, when the Saints went for the attack, they did try the whole bailable flank thing again, and that just completely got shut down. So I'm looking to see what University of North Texas are looking to do. Something maybe a little bit more predictable, but a little bit more standard, a little bit more safe. And that is going to rely a little bit more on Aspect on the Symmetra. Rely on teleporter plays compared to a flank. And just try and get everybody through the door as fast as possible and cause the fight to happen. However, St. Clair, they're definitely okay looking for a fight. They have themselves a rather aggressive composition in regards to long-range capabilities alongside diving in capabilities. But with that being said, though, one thing it isn't necessarily good at doing is just holding a wall. There is going to be the teleport, and it's going to go right in the bailable. He's going to blast himself, and he does get himself stuck. A little bit of a rough spot. Looks for the dynamite, not going to find it. That's going to be 2 very, very quick kills into UNT's favor. Possible on point, trying to keep this thing defended. As of right now, no points checkered down. But actually, as soon as they get rid of that invulnerability field, they do find themselves with a double. Can they deal with Hopkins? Impossible, going to be right there, ready to go. Fully charged and really doing some damage, but is eventually going to get smoked out. Saints making things a little bit rough to kind of try and follow here. Kale really trying to get this tank kill, and he's going to find it onto Aqua. Now just has to deal with Gatsby, but of course we've seen Gatsby so far here today. May be the support player, but at the same time he's been doing so much offensive damage to the side of St. Clair, and him alongside Alias were able to finish the job. And the Saints are going to go backpacking to the second point, because this one, there is no retaking this. Point A going over to the University of North Texas. Saints going to completely switch up this team composition for this hold, which completely resets their ult charge, of course. That being said, there is no ults available for the side of the University of North Texas either, but knowing that theirs is going to be coming up on board is definitely going to be a little bit nerve-wracking while you await yours to come back online. The teleporter play again to go just all the way to the background, going to really make things difficult. That's going to be a huge charge. Apostle gets pinned down, but it's going to get hung on to by just a second. Graviton keeping a couple of the players off the side of the points, but Hawkins going to find himself the double, taking care of Apostle. Comanda's getting taken down as well, and just all up to bailable, trying to make this happen. Hawkins is just too quick with these shots, just absolutely crushing this right now. Just has to deal with one more. Apostle does go down. Holy crap, University of North Texas, what an attack. Well, that was a statement, now wasn't it? This is going to put Saints in such an awkward position, and I'll explain why in just a second. Because at this point, with 4 minutes and 49 seconds still on the clock from the University of North Texas attack, they just have to get the first third on this section at some point within basically 5 minutes. Saints are going to have to do an absolute flawless defense of this point in order to successfully do it, because they don't get an opportunity at attacking either. They have no more time on the bank, so it's going to be all up to their defensive abilities. And to be fair, they're sticking to their guns. They're trying this again, just kind of seeing them come on down here into position, but they're going to try this Winston dive-styled tank again instead of the Reinhardt style. Rather than holding the archway, they're going to just try and hold it on the point. And I mean, that's putting a lot of faith into your team fight ability, which I mean, we've seen Saints do a fantastic job on regards to their team fights, but it's a lot of pressure to put yourself under, especially if you do not complete it. That is going to be 2-0 with your playoff hopes now on the line as you'd be put into match point. Going to start things off very similar. You're going to have the teleporter to get onto the point pretty much right away. And it is going to be the side of UNT actually already on the point. Saints have to have somebody to contest. They're going to basically be using Kale to basically speed tank this point. But as of right now, nobody able to do this. And the Saints just get absolutely wiped. There's no way they're taking care of this one. UNT absolutely dominating Full Sky Industries. Imp going to still find himself play of the game in this situation for the first point. Attack, or is this the defense here? Oh, that's the little push off that we saw earlier in the kill feed. A nice little cheeky shot there from Imp. Was definitely a cool shot, I will agree. However, the cool plays aren't going to alone win you the match. So, University of North Texas now putting the St. Clair Saints on match point. The 3-0 sweep is imminent, but can St. Clair hang on in the first escort map? We've seen Havana get picked up earlier in the match versus the University of Akron. Will we go back there? The Saints do have the opportunity to choose. Just a moment. Taking a look at a couple other things as well. Of course, nobody on the bench here for the side of University of North Texas either, so no substitutes or anything is possible here. Only ones here is their commentators themselves. It's cool to see more schools doing streams, though. Get your teams out there. Just waiting for this map pick here. And even if we do end up going to Havana, though, like, I'm really thinking about it. Do the Saints want to try and go for the spawn camp again against a team that's obviously stronger than how the University of Akron played? Because if that does go poorly, you basically lose that entire first point, or at least 3/4 of the distance to that first checkpoint. I'm trying to think of what else they can do, because it's not time for King's Row. It's not hybrid time yet, I don't think. Which I know has been a go-to for the Saints over and over again through both seasons so far. Hanging on tight before we hop into it. So yeah, before we hop into game number 3, one more time, big thank yous to everybody for tuning in and supporting, whether it be your son, your daughter, or friends, family members, classmates, or just your team. Thank you for supporting their esports endeavors. And of course, big thank you to the sponsors that make this all possible, of course, that being St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, St. Clair's SRC, St. Clair College Alumni Association, EC Outlet, and the Zeckelman School of Business and Information Technology. Looks like Havana is, in fact, going to be the map pick for game number 3, so we're going to possibly see how strong this Saints squad is here. We've seen what happened versus Akron. That was Definitely disgusting, to say the least there, where the Saints were able to completely full hold on a escort map, not even let the team push the cart even a single meter. However, UNT is not going to fly with that at all. We might very well go all the way. And to be fair, whenever I don't see St. Clair hold on the first point, it usually ends up being the cart gets pushed on them pretty far. Anytime it's gotten to the second point, I've never seen it this season stop at that second point. It's always made it to the third, and if it makes it to the third, it almost always gets to the end. So a lot relies on this first initial defense, considering this is pretty much where they're most comfortable. Of course, we've seen the spawn camp style, but we've also seen like the double sniper kind of style, the long range composition come out here from St. Clair in the past. And then for this time by, looks like I'm seeing some R's thrown around in chat. You'll probably hear it loading in just a second. Sure enough, it is going to be Havana. Let's hop into game number 3, see if our Saints can keep this one going. Once again, got to take this cart all the way down the street. First checkpoint going to be on the outside of this warehouse doorway. As soon as you get right here, you score the 1 point. Then, of course, hopping on through to the second area, the warehouse or the factory phase. Going to go all the way through. Lots of high ground available for the defense as well. For the next set of doors, make it to the platform here. Then we're all the way to the ends. The final phase, the final streets. You make it into the castle, well, you've basically scored yourself 3 points. You see the finish line just ahead here in this castle. You make it here, full 3 points here on Havana. We hardly ever get to see it come this far, but it very well could happen this time by. Saints are going to start off on the attack, and they are actually going to end up going for this double sniper composition, as we do see Kale and Baleable, both either on the Widowmaker or the Hanzo respectively, and it's going to be the very aggressive defensive position from the side of University of North Texas. Going to give Saints maybe a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. Going to take a nice quick double kill and send the Saints back into their spawn. Couple of the Saints out on the left-hand side, and there's going to be the Maywall going to separate Apostle from the rest of his team. Going to instantly get taken down here. That being said, though, Prince Wad, Commanda, and Kale splitting things up a little bit. Going to try and really split this attack of the University of North Texas, which, to be honest, I don't mind the composition, don't mind the idea, as we do also see Baleable taking to the skies on the far alongside Amp. Pharmacy combo. Of course, you could block off the walls and block off the ground as much as possible. One thing Mercies and Faraway's do not care about is what the ground looks like, necessarily in regards to them being able to traverse it. However, with Hotkins and Aspects just completely having their number, it's going to make things difficult. Aqua so low in this situation, but not going to be able to finish them off. Baleable going to get res and on top of the building. I don't think they know that he is back in the game, so might be able to find a sneaky angle in just a second, but Saints are kind of stuck waiting on ultimates. Meanwhile, the side of the University of North Texas, they have a couple ultimates available, and it's going to get nasty in just a second. The Maywall once again just coming in clutch. Joe going to find himself the kill on the Prince Wada, and this fight, this is looking complete reverse here from what we saw St. Clair do to the University of Akron. University of North Texas just looking absolutely phenomenal here so far in this defense. Granted, still 2 minutes on the clock here for Saints to try and make a move. A couple of them are out on this left-hand side. It looks like the fight is going to end up going down here. Shatter, not going to find any value, but we're going to have to watch out for the Diva Bomb. Baleable's got to take it away from the skies. Imp is going to get caught out, unfortunately, and it's going to lead to 2 kills on each side. To be fair, this is actually a fine fight here so far for St. Clair. A lot longer of a run here for the side of St. Clair compared to, or for the side of University compared to St. Clair. But this is going to be the opportunity that the Saints are looking for to try and actually breach through and finally get to the cart. They are going to successfully be able to get there. They've already gone further than the University of Akron. So now we are on the move. took a little bit, but the cart is finally underway here. Aqua going to try and just go point blank here to stop things out. And they're getting really aggressive with this defense, actually. We do see Bailable going to fire off the barrage, but it gets completely gobbled up by Alias. Was ready and waiting, and this team fight has gone completely sour, and it's going all the way into the favor of the University of North Texas. And with it going that strong, they could park themselves right back outside the door and make things extremely difficult again here for St. Clair. What do the Saints try and do here? The only ultimate they have on deck right now is Ib's Valkyrie, and that's more of a defensive ultimate than an offensive one. You have 30 seconds to try and breach through and get back to the cart. They do seem to fake it around, and they do manage to get themselves into a position where they could maybe get this done. That's going to be the Shatter coming out here from Aqua, but it's not going to give the whole heck of a lot of value. Going to trade invulnerability fields. And you never know which side is attacking, which side is defending, because we are all over the place here. So far, so good for the side of UNT, but Saints are fighting back. The Deadeye rather from Hawkins is still going to find Apostle. Going to instantly one-shot him down. University of North Texas, they may not get the perfect hold, but they are still going to find themselves in a position to full hold. Especially with that Diva Bomb on point, nobody's going to be able to touch. Rough spot here for St. Clair.
Score 0-0. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Well, the Saints are going to basically need to do exactly what the University of North Texas did to them right back there, but they're going to need the success like they did with the University of Akron match. They basically need to completely shut this down. 23 meters of pushed cart is not a whole heck of a lot of wiggle room, to say the least. One bad team fight for the side of St. Clair, and that will easily just take the match. Trying to take a look at the composition here coming out here from the side of University of North Texas. This is an aggressive composition coming out here. Anytime you see the Bastion, you see aggression, you see... Well, it's kind of funny considering you're standing still and I'm calling it aggression, but maybe aggression's not the right word, but you're seeing confidence, I should say here, for this this University of North Texas squad. It's going to be, where do they teleport this Bastion? They do have Hawkins there, taking himself off the McCree and opting for the Symmetra. Going to plant the turret down, teleport on over, and start opening fire. Can the Saints deal with this, or is this going to be the end right off the start? They do find Aqua, so they do shut things down, but any losses that Saints take is going to be absolutely brutal. Commanda does go down. That's one support member from the Saints taken out. Bailable does fall as well. Bit of a trade, but at the same time, the University of North Texas, they don't mind trading. Aspect finds himself so many kills. This composition does exactly what it needs to do. They're on fire. Get the Bastion on the point. Is anybody going to be able to make it there? We're going to run alongside Aqua, who's going to just try and run interference. Does not matter. The one team fight was enough. The University of North Texas is going to be taking this one in a 3-0 fashion. Sure enough, Aspect on the Bastion going to be the play of the game. They pull this composition off exactly like they needed to. Teleported in a nice position that you don't have to really worry about. Saints were all set up on the other side too, which unfortunately did not work in their favor. Just left them open to the firing squad, and that is going to be the end of this play versus playoff round if this is only single elimination. Unfortunately, I do not have that information here for this time by. If that is, that's the end of the play versus season, but not the end of the St. Clair Saints varsity Overwatch team's season in general, and not even the last match here tonight, because of course 10 o'clock on the NECC Esports channel, they get to play again in the semifinals up against Fanshawe College. So that's going to be another exciting one to follow up on, and be sure to tune in and support the squad there. And it's also going to be pretty exciting to go up against one of our fellow Ontario members or all Ontario institutions as well. Last time we played Fanshawe, I feel like it was a tough one, so we're definitely going to need your energy for it. Be sure you follow us on Twitter to make sure you know exactly when we go live. If you do happen to tune into our channel as the fan shop or the NECC match goes live, the channel will redirect you to the NECC's channel so you don't miss any of the action. But with that, we shall be closing out here for this Play versus Overwatch playoff round. Unless there is a loser's bracket, then you'll see the stream come back up on when the scheduled time does end up happening. But it would have to be between now and like 9 o'clock. So we'll see very shortly. Again, just follow our social medias and you'll absolutely keep in tune with everything that's going on. I hate the fact that I have all these questions and all of these uncertain details in regards to the tournament, but unfortunately, they were not exactly accessible, to say the least. But with that, a couple more thank yous. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and supporting the Saints Overwatch team. Hopefully I'll see you later as well for NECC's action. And then thank you to the sponsors that make this all possible. St. Clair College, of course, Tim Hortons, PC Outlet, Zelkelman School of Business and Information Technology, St. Clair College Alumni Association, and St. Clair's SRC. Thank you for joining me for the 2 matches. Of course, my name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danners, your producer here at the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team. And I thank you for joining us, and I will see you on the next one.